Hello guys, this is Kevin here, and today I'll be teaching you how to make song for Dennis on GarageBand. This song is famously used in the Putin walk theme. So for this song, I'll generally be using note input method so that even if you're not a musician, you can't play keyboards or something, you can still make the song work. And I'll try to be as specific as possible. However, we're still going to encounter some playing, but I'll make the playing as easy as possible. You're just going to press some blocks or something. There's not going to be a lot of note playings in this song. Let's get going. New GarageBand, a new GarageBand project. Tempo at 100, key signature C minor. We're going to click on the bars and give it 32, which I've already done as well. First instrument, we're going to go into Alchemy synth. Go into the arrow, click, drag down to synth, and we're going to choose Dirty Pulse, which is under the Gozadera Latina, and if you don't have it, you can download it. Track settings wise, go down, a little bit of echo, 3/4 of the way through for the reverb, right there is about good. Click on the Smart Keyboard. We're going to be using 3 different chords, the C minor, the F minor, and the G minor, which is respectively CM, FM, and the GM. And the block you're going to be pressing is always just below where the letter is. So for CM is this one, the FM is this one, and the GM is this one. C minor, F minor, G minor. And you're going to be playing to this beat. C minor, F minor, G minor. And if at any point of this video you feel like I'm going too fast, feel free to pause it and go back. Or if you want to slow down the video, YouTube has the option to do that. So let's get recording then. We're going to turn on the metronome. Good. Next up, go into track view, zoom in, click it, go into edit mode. You will see some bar lines. Between 1 and 2, there's 3 bar lines. Okay, at the second bar line, we're going to be inputting some notes just above C4. First of all is this E flat, which is highlighted in green. Next up is this B flat, which is also highlighted. Next up, go out of that pencil mode, drag these 2 notes, make it half of the value. Just after that, at the next bar, just after that, we're going to put in the G, which is highlighted in green again, and it's also above C4. And then we're going to be inputting the same 2 notes we just did before the G. Go out, highlight these 2 notes, make a little shortening value. Good. Let's do that. And now we're going to loop this track. Next thing we're going to do is duplicate this track, get into the volume and make it half the value. Copy this track, paste them down here, go into your edit mode, get to the front, and what you want to do is, in between, we're going to drag it open, okay? We're going to zoom in, so that in between 1 and 1.2, there's again 3 lines, 4 boxes. Select all of this track. Drag the first 3 notes to just after that first line, after 1. So in between 1 and 1.2, there's 3 lines we're going to put on after the first line. This way then, when we listen to it, it almost sounds like we have this little bit of echo, which is good. Now then, here's where the input comes in. At bar 3, we're going to add a drum track. So go to drums, select acoustic drums. In the arrow, go to electric. And we're going to select a TR-707, modern TR-707. Go down, full reverb. Okay, full on reverb. Next thing we're going to do is go to track view, go into edit mode. So between 3 and 4, first thing you want to do is make sure there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these boxes and 7 lines. And then we're going to drag it so that there's 16 boxes, which will make our input slightly easier. We're going to be putting in some snares first thing first. So go into the edit mode, And at the second line, put in a snare. Okay? And then we're gonna make it the snare half of the value. Only half of the value, remember. Skip 2 boxes. Put out another snare. Skip a box. Put out a snare. Don't skip a box. Put out another snare. Let's just do that. And then zoom in so that in between these 2 snares, we can put in another snare. Zoom out so that there is like 16 boxes again. At 3.3, put out the snare. And right after, a snare again. Get out here. Let's have a listen. Yep. And then at bar 4, we're going to click edit again. What we're going to do is again drag it first to there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then drag it to where there's 16 boxes. I'm slowly doing that. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we're going to have some snares, some kicks, and also some hi-hats. At the first line, after bar 4, we're going to be putting in a snare. Oops, let's go into the edit mode first. A snare. And also, we are going to be putting in the hi-hat. Right there. Okay? And then we're going to just make these 2 half of the value again. And then we're going to skip 2 of these boxes. At the third box, same thing. A snare and a hi-hat. Skip a box. This time what we're going to do is a snare and then a kick. We're going to use the very bottom bass kick. Okay? And then skip a box again. We're going to be inputting the snare and the hi-hat. Don't skip a box. Same thing. Snare and hi-hat. Obviously, I'm inputting the hi-hat first. We're going to, again, skip a box. Snare, kick. Don't skip a box. Oh, no, not snare, kick, but hi-hat and kick. We're going to put another hi-hat here and a snare. And then what we're going to do is skip another box. Hi-hat, kick. And then at bar 5, we're going to give it this crash. So that now this whole sequence should sound like this. That's good. Of course, this drum will come back later. But here, at bar number 5, we're going to be adding some more keyboards. It's going to be on the Alchemy synth again. Drag that down. We're going to be using generally some keys or something. Let's see, synth, I think. Can we? Yes, it's on the synth again. Soft pluck fins. This is what we're gonna do. Okay, for the soft pluck synth, we're gonna actually have to play. Like, this is about the one track that we'll actually have to play before we hit the grand pianos. So, going to scroll, make sure that C4 is where you are. Between C4 and C5, we're gonna go play C4, the G above C4, C5, D, E flat. In this fashion. Okay? But make sure we get into glissando. Let's get recording. I know it's not going to sound very loud because that's what we want. When we do that, of course, we are going to be doing this. Soft pluck synth. Going into edit mode. And we're going to copy these. Select all. Okay. And drag these to where the oops. Can we go back? Okay. Select all again. Just make sure it starts at the bar line. We're going to copy it. We'll come back to this later. Okay. But what we're going to do now is we're going to add a new drum machine. Select acoustic drums again. Go here. What we are going to do is we're going to choose electronic, and we're going to add the beat sequencer kits. Let's see, where is it? Sequential drums. Right there, it's under Vintage Drum Machines, sequential drum tracks. Okay? What we're going to do is we're going to go into edit mode. Again. Let's hear it. Okay? So there should be generally 3 lines and 4 boxes. For the first and the third box, we're going to put in kicks. The bottom kicks. For the second and fourth box, we're going to put in the snares. So it goes like this. Yep. Now is where it comes in. Make sure your pin lines up with the second box, which we put the snare in. And what we're going to do is when we go back to soft plucky synth, remember we had these copied, and just click paste. So that now this section sounds like this. And then what we're going to do is at sequential drum tracks, we're going to loop it. However, though, when we hit bar number 9, then we're going to click split on the track, cut it open. Because what happens is when we go inside the edit mode again, at the second box and the fourth box, we're also going to add kicks. Oh, not kicks, but claps. So it goes like this. Now we have this. We're going to be at bar 5 again. We're going to add another drum track. This time we're going to go to Simon's SDS 5, which is also going to be in the Vintage Drum Machines. However, what we're going to do is we're not going to use the actual input method, but we're going to go to the beat sequencer and select Simon SDS 5. Let's stop that. If you have it, just make sure to go to where it says new pattern. Okay, we don't want to use their patterns. Let's not play that. So there should be 4 different boxes. We're going to be inputting 4 of these. And then for this whole line down here, we're going to have it highlighted. And then we're going to click velocity and make sure that at the bottom line, these stuff are generally like around like 55-ish. Just drag them down. It's a little hard to, and if you want to skip to the next part of the video, obviously you can. It doesn't have to be like exact. We want to make this sort of feel like it's still humanly played, you know. Alright, let's record it. Good. When we have that recorded, we're going to loop it. Okay. Now that we have that, at bar number 9, we're going to have the bass, which is again under Alchemy Synth. The keyboard section, going to bass. 70s classic synth bass is what we're gonna have. All right. We're gonna go into the track settings. Go to quantization. We're gonna be at the quantization. At swing, 1/16 heavy. This is what we want. So it's well, let's try putting some inputs. So we're going to go into edit mode. So going to edit mode, we're going to input in 2 C3s. Make sure it's half the value. And then at bar 10, we're going to be inputting 2 Fs just below C3 where it's highlighted. So it should sound like this. Actually, at 10.5, we're going to put in this G. And and then drag them again, put another G, so then and then put in a B flat at the last of the bar, and then put in a G right there still. So what we should have is however, this is actually not right, because we are going to drag this note we have here and we're gonna make this specific note half the value. Make this specific note half the value. Put in the note here and drag it into the middle. Oops. It should be right now. Now, we exit out and drag these two and make sure that the note length is right. Good. Now what we're going to do, drag these two together, join, and then we're going to loop it. Now that we have this at bar number 16, okay, here's where the interesting part comes in. We're going to be having another modern TR-707, but this time we're going to use the beat sequencer. So modern TR-707, again, make sure that we're using a new pattern. Okay, for this new pattern, let's close it down. What we're going to do is put in some snares. So first two boxes, we're gonna have two snares, skip a box, a snare, skip a box, a snare, skip a box, a snare, and then skip a box, 3 straight snares, skip a box, 3 straight snares. Okay, so let's record it. I think it's good. Yep. And then at bar 17, we're going to go into the edit mode of this track, and we'll be adding another crash. Okay? Now, here's where the interesting part comes in, and we're getting to the latter part of it. But before that, make sure that for this, we're also going to give it quite an amount of reverb. Like, not a lot of reverb, but generally halfway to the middle. Okay? Yeah, because look, these drum tracks, we require them to have generally quite amount of reverb. Actually, for the sequential drums, let's also give it some reverb. Like 3 to the middle. Okay, so at bar number 17, here's where the strings part comes in. We're gonna go in here, we're gonna go to the piano, which I'm Alchemy Synth, but this time we're gonna go to main categories, synth pads, choose Hollywood strings. Okay, and then for this, well, we're gonna give it the echo, sort of a little more echo and reverb, which is good, like that, a little more than half, or maybe just half. We're gonna give it down a little bit. We're also gonna be inputting notes here. Going to edit mode and make sure that in between 17 and 17.2 there's 4 boxes. Actually, you know what, let's give it less echo. I feel like echo's still too much. Kind of halfway, a little less than halfway through to the middle would be good. Yeah, because when I played it, it feels like it's a little bit too echoey. Get back into edit mode. In between 17 and 17.2, where we have the C5, we're going to be having the 4 boxes. Yes, that's about right. So, going to edit mode, we're going to put in C5. Make sure it's only 1 boxes into 17. And then the G below C5, which is highlighted. The D above C5. The E flat above C5. And then back to C5, but we're going to drag it to 2 bars. So, right, let's have a listen again. And then at bar 17.3, we're going to put in, whoopsies. Again, make sure we put in C5 and then make sure it's just the one little bar. The D above C5, the E flat above C5, and then D, and then C5. Actually, the last C5 should be right here. So, and then what we're gonna do is, let's head back into edit mode. I don't know why I exited. Select everything. Click copy. At bar 18, paste it. Okay, and then we go to that last little kind of C5 right there. Did we paste it somewhere wrong? Oh goddamn. Okay. Sorry for cursing. At bar 18, paste it. That's more like it. And then we go to that last C5, drag them up to the G above C5, and then we're gonna copy this whole track at bar 19, and then between 20 and 21, when it's halfway there, we're gonna drag this inwards so it deletes that part of the track. And then what we're gonna do is we're gonna duplicate this track because now it involves a little bit of playing again. What we'll be doing is we'll be doing from C5, so make sure we're around C5 and C4. Just kind of use the glissando mode and play from the note C5, glissando down to C4. Now that we've recorded this, go into the edit mode. We might have missed a note here. Yes, we did. So what happens when you miss a note is just copy and paste, really. Copy it, paste it there, and then drag them down. One, drag it out a little bit. There we go. And then we're gonna select all of these notes and make sure that the velocity is on some of the higher volumes. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna combine these two tracks, join them. So now then, this track can be deleted. What happens now is, well, again, going to join these two together as well. Going to edit mode. Select all of these tracks. Click copy. Click paste. Go back to where we started this and then drag the note C5 down to C4. So it should sound like this. We're going to loop it. Now then, at bar 25, we're going to encounter the last portion of this. We're going to add a keyboard. We're going to be choosing in the keyboard's grand piano. Going to settings. Make sure that your treble is on full, bass nothing, okay? And we're going to give it generally lots and lots of reverb, like full reverb. That's like it. We're gonna go to where between C4 and C5. This is also where we're gonna encounter some playing. So if you need to slow down the video, please do so here because this is the tricky part. We're gonna play this. Yeah. Oopsies, what happened here? Okay. Let's just get recording there, right? we could give the Hollywood strings a little bit more volume here. Yeah. So what happens then is that we have this we can give this a little more velocity. So then, now that we have this, we basically have the whole song. What you can do is choose to drag this to around when we hit 29. Let's have a listen at this track. This is generally how you make this song.